So I think it's important to know, first and foremost, I grew up in Chabad community. I went to a Lubavitch Hebrew Academy growing up.
Where?
Where? Chabad of Palm Springs under Rabbi Denevim and Sessi Denevim. So he's like a second father to me. And I think that obviously that's what instilled my pride and morals and moral compass and values at such a young age to be able to do what I do now at this age, given I have created somewhat of a platform as a TV journalist, but I really go back to the Rebbe's teachings and why I continuously have so much pride in Judaism and fight anti-Semitism and try to do whatever I can do, given, again, my platform to speak out, especially post October 7th. But yeah, that's who I am.
So you went from?
I went from growing up modern Orthodox to a more secular lifestyle. After college, started my first on-air job in a small town in Oregon, and then worked my way up to CBS News Network, Entertainment Tonight, CBS News based in Los Angeles. And I was with them for 15 years. 4 years ago to the day, I posted a map of Israel. Mind you, this was before October 7th, 2023. So this was 4 years ago, 2021 in May 12th, 2021. I posted a map of Israel and all it said was Am Yisrael Chai. 3 days later, I get a call from HR in New York of CBS News, and they say that they have had complaints filed against me by some coworkers and that it needs to be taken down immediately. I immediately said, there's absolutely no way I'm taking this down. There are other on-air talent that have pro-transgender, pro-BLM, pro-Dr. Fauci, pro-whatever they are pro for up on their personal social media page, yet I can't have a map of Israel. It snowballed into a bunch of different events that happened. Ultimately, me parting ways with CBS News in 2022. And here I am now on Fox News. So, like any rabbi always says, there's always meaning behind everything that happens, and to keep going and to keep shining light. And I feel like my soul's purpose now is to just speak out as much as I possibly can and reach as many people as I possibly can, especially for me, the younger generation. We have the Candace Owens in the world who spoke so severely badly about the Rebbe and fueled the fire of these conspiracy theories. And nothing could be further from the truth, as so many of you guys know, as I know firsthand. But unfortunately, it gets spread like wildfire. So even though I don't have a following as big as Candace Owens, I do feel it's my purpose and so many other people's purposes to just speak out and really show how Chabad transformed my life. I have some of the best memories of my childhood is growing up in Chabad. I can say that even in my 20s and 30s, when I was more secular, I was working so hard, it was always the Chabad houses that would, no matter what, they weren't judging me. Whatever time I had to come in, they said, come in. If I had to work the day after Yom Kippur, but that day I didn't work and I was fasting, they said, just come break the fast. And then, whatever it may be, wherever I was in my life, it was the Chabad houses around the country that were always so welcoming and warm and kind and gave me the same message over and over again, no matter what. And so I think that's truly such a gift that that the Chabad community gives to so many people, regardless of your observancy.
And at Fox, you're okay? You're comfortable with?
I can speak the truth at Fox, my truth at least. And my truth might not be everyone else's, but I do feel where I fall politically. And being a Zionist and a proud Jewish woman, yes, way better than mainstream media and CBS News.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
what do you want to talk about?
We will turn the tables here. First and foremost, one of my favorite songs right now. Everybody, you can just check it out.
Yes.
So obviously many of you know Rabbi Friedman. He is such a powerhouse within the Chabad movement, and I think just such a powerhouse, period. I know so many people across the board whether they're Orthodox or more secular or however they're living their lives, they follow you. And, I think the first question I have for you is, I think during this time post October 7th, many Jewish people may be questioning Hashem. What do you have to say to those people, especially the younger generation, that might be questioning Hashem?
Oh, let me quote a speaker at the Knesset recently, where she gave her first speech as a member of Knesset. And she said, on this occasion, I just want to say that after October 7th, I had lost all my optimism and all my faith, questioning why does God not do something? Why did God? But then I realized that the question is not why doesn't God do things? The question is why don't we? Why don't we do something to serve Him instead of constantly asking Him to serve us? Especially when we ask Him to protect us from our own mistakes. So that turned her around completely, and now she's all optimistic again, and she wants to make a difference in the world because it's what we do for God that counts, more than our relying on Him, depending on Him, constantly expecting Him to do for us.
So what would you say we as a Jewish community can do to better serve Hashem?
Oh, pretty much what you're doing. We got to tell the world that we are the teachers. We stood at Mount Sinai. We heard what God said. And it's our mission to be a light to the nations and tell them what God expects of them. And if we take the role of the teacher, everything will change. When we follow, nobody is happy. When we teach, everyone is happy. And I think the most powerful example, most convincing example, when the United States moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Yerushalayim, everyone, Jewish and non-Jewish, everyone was convinced this is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be such a disturbance. World War III is going to happen over this. So there were many Jews who didn't want that to happen. They'd rather leave the embassy in Tel Aviv. But when they did move the embassy, what actually happened? Nothing. Nothing. No one complained. It was almost a disappointment. Anticlimax. And that's because when you tell the truth, nobody's going to argue. The capital of Israel is Jerusalem. I mean, who doesn't know that? So when you just go with the truth, it's a completely different story.
So I agree, obviously, with that. And I've looked up to you in so many ways. You're such a scholar and brilliant and kind soul who teaches so many people and has such a ripple effect. However, with all due respect, I have to ask, in your opinion, why do you think it feels like right now in this current moment, the entire world is turning once again, against the Jewish people in Israel, when all we're doing is speaking the truth?
Well, two things. First of all, it's not the whole world. It's the whole media. And you know that. You know that better than anyone. It's the media. It's not the people. Most of the people are pro-Israel. You don't hear from them because the media doesn't quote them. Secondly, are we really telling the truth? Is Israel telling the truth when they say we have a right to defend ourselves? Well, that's the truth. That's it. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. We're not saying anything. And when we insist that we are the only democracy in the Middle East, is that telling the truth? Well, first of all, are we a democracy?
Right.
And secondly, even if you are a democracy, nobody's impressed. Tell us who you really are, and people will be impressed.
So what advice do you have to the Jewish people then?
Be more proudly Jewish, because there's nothing greater in the world. We are the only blessing this world has left. We're the final hope. And I think that's why everyone is focused on Israel. Somehow it gets a little perverted where, blaming Israel. But the fact that the focus is on Israel, isn't that strange?
Right.
A tiny little nation with a tiny little population, and the whole world is obsessed. Why? Because we have the answer, and we're not giving it.
So you suggest more people to give that answer by speaking the truth, continuously shining that light that the Rabbi has always said that each one of our souls has.
Yes, exactly.
So what do you predict? And I know, obviously, what do you project? What do you think once, God willing, this war is over, what's going to happen with anti-Semitism in our future, our children's future and our children's children's, God willing?
Anti-Semitism is over. This is their last hurrah, the last attempt. I remember Rabbi Sachs said anti-Semitism takes on different causes or reasons or excuses, and now it's anti-Zionism, which is when this is over, there will be no more anti-Semitism. The world is going to love having the Jews as their teacher, because we're good teachers, and we have what to teach. So I think that the Arab world, being really religious in nature, as soon as we start talking in the name of God and the name of Moses and the name of the Torah, they will become our biggest protectors, defenders, supporters, admirers, more than anybody else.
The non-Jews?
The Muslims.
The Muslims? The Arabs? I mean, God willing, I hope to live to see that day. I don't know, but I hope you're...
If it doesn't happen this week, I'll be very surprised. I'm realistic.
Right.
They've got nothing except their hatred of... There's nothing.
Right.
And
there's a lot of hatred deep within their DNA.
And I'm convinced that the average Muslim does not like what Islam has become.
I agree with you on that.
So it would take much to tilt the scale in the other direction. And I think it'll come from them. They will take down the mosque and encourage us to build a third temple.
God willing. So
God is willing. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. So your specialty, which I love, is marriage. And you speak a lot, and you have spoken a lot. You've written a book about marriage and family. And during my time off from the news, the 2 years that I had off from CBS News to Fox News, I went back and I received my master's degree in clinical psychology, emphasis in marriage and family therapy. So I want to ask you, because I personally think that my parents' generation got a little too complacent and they married outside of our religion, or they, lost their ways, so to speak. And one thing I do feel, the silver lining with post-October 7th, is that many Jewish people have woken up and they're getting back to their traditions and roots and marrying, staying within the religion. What do you have to say to the younger generation, so to speak, in terms of it in their 20s and 30s looking for that partner? Why is it so important that we marry and stay Jewish, or marry Jewish, I should say? Hopefully you're staying Jewish.
It's very perceptive of you to think that October 7th brought about an improvement. People just see the negative. It was horrible. It was like the Holocaust. This is the worst. They don't see. And the same is true with COVID. Oh, COVID was a disaster. A lot of people died. They don't see the good that came out of COVID. The world vastly improved as a result of COVID because people turned inward. People rediscovered what life is all about because they couldn't go shopping and they couldn't go for entertainment and they couldn't go to work,
Need
go to school.
family.
Yeah.
Less divorces during COVID as well.
Yeah. People who were on the verge of divorce suddenly realized, oh, am I crazy?
I can't afford it.
In many ways.
Yeah, more ways than one.
Yeah.
We have to work this out.
Yeah. So if we could see the positive, we're ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reason you marry Jewish is because you're Jewish. And being Jewish is not a religion. It's not a belief. It's not an opinion. It's not a philosophy. You are Jewish. Actually, somebody said, not Jewish, like blue-ish or tall-ish. You're a Jew.
Right.
And that will never change. So you marry Jewish because you're a Jew. And you want your children to be Jews because we are the most important people in history, and the world needs us more than we need the world. So you're not doing the world any favor by marrying out. They've got plenty of people to marry. There are 8 billion of them.
Perhaps. Right.
So we marry Jewish because being Jewish is incredibly important and real. And you can't fool Mother Nature. If you're Jewish, you're going to stay Jewish. So marrying out is simply a lack of self-appreciation. You don't know who you are. You don't realize who you are. And ask any anti-Semite. Jews are not just another nation.
Right.
Well, then find out what's unique about us, and if you're chosen, act it. Just don't resist it. Don't fight it.
Do you think that is part of the hate circling back around to just we are the chosen ones? Do you think that being put out there, the non-Jewish world feels that we have some type of entitlement? Do you think that there's a little bit of resentment that comes with that and part of this anti-Semitism we're seeing?
Oh, a lot of the resentment that comes from jealousy. No, not a secret. But there was a beautiful incident by one of the very nasty pro-Hamas rallies on the university where the Jewish population was stunned by the ugliness of it. They were speechless. They just stood there gawking. They didn't know what to do. Until this one Jewish professor got up and started to argue back. The police arrested him to protect him. So the next day when he came to give his class, because he was professor there at the university, one of the students came over to him and handed him a bouquet of flowers. He said, "What is this?" She said, "I was so proud of what you did yesterday." He says, "You're Jewish?" She says, "No." He says, "So what do you mean you're proud?" Now, this guy is famous on the campus. He is famous as the atheist among the professors. Very proud of being an atheist. Right? Anyway, so he said, "What are you proud of? If you're not Jewish, what?" She says, "What I mean is, it was so good to see the chosen people acting chosen."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it gets better.
Quote right there.
It gets better. He said, "You know I don't believe that." And she said, "Whether you believe it or not, we know it's true." So who are we kidding?
Right.
To deny that we're chosen, to hide. Well, you're not kidding anybody. The world knows we're the chosen people, and they're puzzled when we don't act it. Like if you deny you're the chosen people, what's your scheme? What are you up to?
Right.
Why would you deny it? That makes people uncomfortable. If we were upfront about who we are, which they know already anyway, because they read the Bible, it would make things much better for everybody.
So what do you have to say? Because, we're hearing a lot of fight back, don't have trembling knees. When the UCLA riots were happening, I know people who went out and they fought back in the middle of the night and helped start something that happened there on campus to really fight back. When we were recently seeing what happened in Brooklyn near the Rabbi's house, a very holy site, obviously, I know people who know people who know people. We were all discussing, how do we get some troops on ground and go and help our people and fight back? What do you have to say? There's a lot of anger that is brewing amongst a lot of the younger generation that feel that now more than ever, we want to get our hands dirty and fight back. What do you have to say in that regard? Because there's a lot of that.
Yes. And it's better than being passively victimized.
Right.
But it's not the solution. In Crown Heights, what happened was we convinced the police to actually not allow them to enter Crown Heights.
The police to not.
Yes. And they did. And it prevented the entire, so.
You think it prevented it from snowballing to getting worse?
Yes.
Right.
Had it come into Crown Heights, who knows? Because, you say, people were willing to fight.
Very. People were being called all over the country to go and fight.
Yeah, but that's...
But what does that do?
The fighting?
Right.
Being depressed by being victimized or thinking of yourself as a victim is the worst thing. Fighting back helps a little bit. The 6-Day War, for example, did a lot to heal the Jewish people from 2,000 years of oppression and so a little pride doesn't hurt, even if it's not so much pride in being Jewish, it's pride in the fact that we can fight. But that's not really who we are.
Right.
So the real solution is stop calling it anti-Semitism. It's just crime. If it was anti-Semitism, they think we have the wrong religion, they think we're not going to heaven, fine. But when it becomes crime, why are you calling it anti-Semitism? It's just crime.
Right.
So let the police handle it, or make sure they handle it. But what about the Jewish side? What about the Jewish issue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then be more Jewish.
Mm.
When people say maybe we should take down the mezuzah. No. Put up a bigger mezuzah. That's too small.
Right. No, I was wearing this tiny little Star of David on the news forever. And then I had someone reach out and say, you have to wear something bigger on the news. So, right, I wore it. Now I wear this high necklace, and I can't tell you, every time I'm on air maybe 1 or 2 nights a week now, I get so many messages about this high necklace of this is the first thing they noticed. Not how I look and what I said, but the high necklace, which is beautiful. It is powerful. It's very powerful.
So I think increasing our confidence in who we are, what we stand for, that parents whose children drop out and they stop being observant and they're asking, oh, what did we do wrong? What can we do? What can we do? Well, the first thing you can do is be a little more confident in what you taught your children.
Yes.
You told them the truth, they're going to come back.
Always. I did.
You see? Because if you're confident,
right.
Either you believe in what you taught,
mm-hmm.
or you think you failed because you didn't teach them you taught them the right thing. Maybe not enough. But you certainly don't regret what you taught your children, and that truth will bring them back. So relax. They'll be home. They'll come home. They'll be all right. And if you didn't teach them about Judaism, well, start now.
Mm.
Now, put up a mezuzah on your door when they come home. And tell them why.
It's never too late. So
it's never too late.
Right, exactly. And so I think for a lot of people out there who might be watching who maybe have strayed or they were never really raised with any type of observance or Judaism, or they just go to shul or synagogue once or twice a year, What advice would you have for them if they're wanting to learn more and to become more Jewish, as you mentioned earlier?
Well, the greatest yeshiva you can attend is Google.
Yeah.
Or YouTube. It really has become the greatest yeshiva in history. You can learn everything there. Chabad.org. Anything you want to know about Judaism, it's there. And then every rabbi who has something to say is online. So choose your rabbi and study. But the main thing is no more apologetics. If somebody says, "Why do you have a mezuzah on the door?" Don't start with Abraham and Isaac. God asked me to do it, so I do it. Go straight to the truth. Why do you keep kosher? Because God asked us to keep kosher. Are you doing what God asked you? Well, why are we always apologetic? That whenever there's a debate between a believer and a non-believer, the believer is always on the defensive. Why? I know who created the world and I know why I'm here. What do you know? That should be the attitude. The non-believer should always be on the defensive. If you don't believe there's a God, why are you alive? Who needs you?
Right?
That's a strong challenge.
That's a strong challenge. And I'd be interested to hear what an atheist or someone such as that would how they would answer that. I'm sure you come across many of those types of people.
Yeah. But it's not the debate that I'm interested in.
Right.
It's stop being defensive. Stop being apologetic.
But do you think perhaps it comes from guilt?
I think it comes from 2,000 years of oppression.
Right.
And what is it? The Stockholm Syndrome?
Stockholm Syndrome.
We start to believe what our enemies say about us.
Well, and then
We need to heal.
It goes back to the media as well, fueling a lot of the
So
fire.
the Rebbe was basically the healer of the 20th century.
Right.
The Rebbe was not apologetic. Of all the rabbis, this is amazing. Of all the rabbis who are great orators and great speakers and good looking and very of the non-Jewish viewers in the synagogue, in their temples, they're great. But if non-Jews are listening, all of a sudden they wither.
Do you think they should go on television more? They should push for that, or no? In your opinion?
I'm surprised that they don't. Not that I'm necessarily agreeing with their message.
Right.
But why aren't you on television if you think you're so great? Because you're still apologetic. And the Rebbe said, bring in the cameras to the Farbrengen in Yiddish, no changes to the Farbrengen, let the world see. What are we hiding? What were you ashamed of?
So then that goes back to exactly what you were saying. And the message you were saying is that more and more of us need to teach and continue teaching and continue spreading that light.
And I think the futuristic message, the one that's coming very soon.
Besides, we want Mashiach now.
Behind the Mashiach, like what exactly? Yeah, somebody is going to come and fix the whole world. It sounds childish. It sounds childish.
It sounds unbelievable. Right.
We're not relying on Mashiach to fix the world. Mashiach comes when we fix the world. So the message that we need to share with the world today that is uniquely Jewish is that we have to stop using God for our benefit and start serving God for his benefit. And again, the very, very powerful illustration or of this idea. If the world ended tomorrow, who would care? Would it even be a tragedy? It's over.
It's done.
It's done.
Right.
We wouldn't care. The tragedy would be for God. He's the most invested in this creation. And yet we keep using him for our benefit.
Mhm.
So I think the message of the future is stop using God, start serving God. That's Judaism. God came down to Mount Sinai not to tell you how to handle your problems. Go to a shrink for that. God came to tell us his problem, why he created the world, why he needs us, what we're here for. If you can't answer that question, then what do you know?
Right.
Then you know nothing of any value. You know how to live, but you don't know why? That doesn't work. You can teach your children how to cross the street safely, how to brush their teeth, how to avoid strangers, and then the kid is going to ask, so why was I born? And you don't know. Well, that undermines everything. So it's a difference how I cross the street.
Mm-hmm.
I think we really need to spread this message. Judaism has always been, we're here to serve God, not to get to heaven. Right? We don't do mitzvahs for the reward. That's the first lesson in Pirkei Avos. The rest of the world is busy using God or blaming God. But no one is serving him. We need to be the teachers and change the attitude. And then when everyone in the world, 8 billion people, wake up tomorrow morning and say, what can I do for God? You can't have a better world than that. Then Mashiach will come.
Amen.
And why do we need him after the world is all so good? Because we don't know how to be good. When everything is so good, we don't know what to do with ourselves. So Mashiach will have to re-educate us into a whole new way of getting excited, of feeling, if everything is good, what's going to motivate us? Okay, you can become a little better, big deal, huh? So Mashiach will re-educate us. What is Torah all about when there is no sin? When there is no darkness? It can't be that the Torah is only a broom or a mop with which to clean up the mess.
Right.
So Mashiach will show us how to be inspired by goodness, not by the lack of it. Today we're inspired when there's a lack. Fight back, fight back. Anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism.
Right.
What about the positive? Why don't we get excited about the positive?
And the message you're saying is beautiful and brilliant, because God willing, when this war is over, we need to continue the same strength that we're seeing and continue it, and be the teacher.
The war will be over when those who are fighting us will suddenly become our students. Instead of being jealous, which is anti-Semitism, there will be pride. People will be proud to know Jews, to study with Jews, to learn from Jews, from Judaism. That's what's going to happen. Our enemies will become not just a ceasefire.
Right.
I hate ceasefire.
Correct. Yeah. We've seen a lot of
unresolved. Nothing is...
Don't do anything.
So this is going to be not only a military or political victory. This is going to change the world permanently. And when we become the teachers, despite the fact that our students have misbehaved and made us pretty miserable for a long time, we're not going to hesitate. We're willing to teach. We're willing to share. We know what our role is. We are a light to the nations, and we'll do it. Because stop shooting at me.
Right. No.
Hey, stop killing me. I'll be your teacher.
Yeah. And friend. Okay. Thank you, Rabbi, so much. It was such an honor to be sitting here with you, and I could probably talk to you for hours and hours, but we can do that another time.
But you know that you reach people that no rabbi will ever reach.
Oof. I don't know about that, but thank you. That makes me. That's a lot.
Well, you're there for a reason.
Thank you.
Everything is for a reason.
Yes. One of the reasons why I love Judaism. Reason and meaning.
So thank you.
Means everything to me. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. One.
I want to introduce. We'll continue the conversation. Brittney, I want you to meet my friend Adrian. He's going to pick up where you left off.
Okay, great.
Okay. Wait, I just wonder.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, first of all, thank you to the people that helped make it sound today. Steven, Vitalo Schwartz, for helping it. Thank you. Everyone who supported us and everything we're doing here. Also, I would just wish you a happy special birthday. So this is Daphlis, her birthday today, and everyone who comes with the show and teas. And I just, before we get to Adrian, I thought we could assess.
Yes.
So it's us.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
A dynamic duo here. I know some people did prepare questions either for the Rabbi or for Brittney. So
Yeah, we have questions prepared for on a different subject.
I think
So we'll do that after.
so. If anyone has a question that anything we discussed, but
I have a question. So how do we strategize on how to teach? Because there are a lot of Jews that do not know how to do that. And we're raising an entire generation of Jews that are not being taught to be confident in how to teach. They're not learning those skills.
Almost every Jew in the world has something to teach. We just don't realize it. Like the biggest anti-Semite in the media these days is jealous of Jews because they take care of each other. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there's a few, but there's a few.
They say it out loud. They're jealous because Jews know how to take care of each other. Every Jew knows that. Teach it. Because the world doesn't know how to take care of each other. So we have so much, without getting into the theology, we have so much information about how the world should be. Let's share it. Whatever we know, whatever we have. So you don't have to re-educate everybody. Just share what you have. If you know, like the Rebbe would say, if you know Aleph, teach Aleph. When you learn Beis, you'll teach the Beis. But we all have the Aleph Beis. We know that you're supposed to be kind. You know you're supposed to give charity. You know you're supposed to be helpful to each other, not think only about themselves, which goes against modern psychology, pop psychology. We have a lot. We don't realize. Every Jew has something to share.
Can I ask something? What is the purpose of the other nations? Is it just like eventually when Mashiach comes, they become Jewish? Is it just for us to be their teacher? What's going to happen? What is the point of the world?
Oh, we've come a long way. All of a sudden now we're asking who needs them? Wow. What a shift in it. They are the world.
We are.
They actually sing that, right? We are the world. We're here to elevate the world.
No.
And then the world is what God meant for it to be when He created it.
What happened when Mashiach comes? What's going to happen? Is there still going to be Jews and non-Jews? What's your So we're going to be the teachers teaching the non-Jews?
Yes.
For what purpose? If I'm one of them
To serve God. That is the purpose. And if you want to become a little philosophical about when we say purpose, what do we mean by that? What is the purpose? Purpose means that which needs no purpose, right? The purpose has no purpose because it is. So we can't think. We always think everything has to have a purpose. Well, why is that? You have a car. Well, what is that going to do for you?
Right.
You can go to work. Yeah, well, what will that do for you? Well, you can make money. And what will that do for you? And we keep chasing the purpose, the bottom line. When you get to the bottom line, you can't say what for.
But you need to now because we're kind of stuck. We have
It's not stuck. You've reached your goal.
but you're not fighting against the world that we're Jews and we have a problem right now. You'll have to teach. And so you have to have a purpose because then what? What they're going to say, then what?
Right. So when we reach the purpose, what are you going to ask them?
That's my question.
What's the purpose for the purpose?
Yeah. What's
So,
the end result?
so it's like you date, you get engaged, you work on your marriage, and now you're 60 years married. Now what?
Don't mean to laugh. God willing, I can last that long. Carrot.
You're married. Yeah, so what? So you're married. Yeah, but what that for?
Right.
It's not for, it's it.
But what are you selling?
I'm like selling anything.
Right, but you're teaching them so that there is
Oh,
form of
there's more and more Torah to learn. Endless, infinite.
And more teaching, perhaps.
But you're home.
So you're teaching the Torah for them not to become Jewish.
Right. Yeah, we're not trying to convert the world.
So it's just to teach them the Torah.
But perhaps coexist.
To serve God at our maximum, which keeps...
And to tell them that your God is not the God but ours.
Well, that's before Mashiach comes.
Right. So, but is this the direction it's going? Because that's a big
Yeah.
role to fill. That's not big.
So we gave, we're very proud of the fact that we gave the world monotheism.
Right.
We taught them to believe in one God. That was like 4,000 years ago.
And mind you, Islam came even after Judaism and
We're
Christianity.
very proud of the fact that they believe in one God. And they don't have idols and they don't have statues and they don't. But recently, what have we done? Well, all through the years, we have modeled devotion and commitment. And the world, willingly or unwillingly, is going to have to admit it. We are incredible. We're the biggest miracle of biblical proportion. That we are Jewish today is so awesome. Not to us. We think we're not even good Jews. But to the world, it is so overwhelmingly impressive that they have to fight really hard to keep anti-Semitism going. Because if they stop for a minute, people will say, whoa, the Jews are amazing. So for our own purposes, is God disappointed with us? Is God angry at us? We're not as observant as we should be. We're not all keeping Shabbos. We're not all keeping kosher. Is he upset?
Good question. Should I answer?
You want to answer it?
No, I wasn't sure.
Did you want to?
No, I don't. It's also, I think we're on a journey. I think Hashem has, we're all at different places. The journey needs to get there. Right? Again, it's to teach.
So are we getting there? Is he pleased with our progress? There is no question. He's not only pleased, he is absolutely surprised. We're much better than he could have predicted. We're incredible. The fact that we're not as observant, I think maybe 2,000 years of misery can do that to you. So is God holding that against us? No, not at all. The fact that we're Jewish and we want to be Jewish, we even want to be better Jews, God is overwhelmed by that.
So the goal is not to become observant?
Yes, it is. But under the circumstances, we have been divinely loyal. Even a guy like Daniel Pearl, not observant.
Mm-mm.
But when the chips were down,
But was proud.
why? It's superhuman.
And never denounced his Judaism even when he had a gun to his head.
He announced, not denounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. That is so, I think God was like, what? Daniel Pearl? Really, there's no question that God is not only not angry, he's absolutely indebted to us because we're impossibly devoted. After the Holocaust, any parent who said to their children, we're Jewish, was a hero. Drop it, let it go.
I don't really know any other community or religion or people on this planet who come together like the Jewish people do in time of need, prayer, crisis, whatever it may be. Simcha, look at Idan yesterday coming home.
His mother.
But just strangers were just coming together, and it just goes back to what you're saying right now. It's such a beautiful, I think the whole world sees that, and they have to. Sure, there might be some jealousy, but there also has to be some, gosh, I want to be part of that.
Yes. Yeah. And his grandmother made a bracha. Shehecheyanu.
Yeah. Do you think that there's like all this, like what she's saying, that we come together and must be pros and so many beautiful things. At the same time, I feel people do say there's so much entitlement. How do you, it's like they're amazing, they're beautiful, and there's so many good things, but so how do you fight that? Not fight, but like and not say, we should just be Jewish openly. We should just, act like we're chosen because we're speaking to people who are so resistant towards it. How do you tell a non-Jew?
Just tell the truth.
But they don't like it.
I don't even think it's about acting, though. I think it's just something that comes from within, and I could be wrong, but I think every single Jewish soul just has it within us to not even have to act. And sure, if a non-Jew is taking it personally of entitlement, that's on them. That's a problem within them that they need to maybe hold a mirror up and look within themselves. I don't think it has anything to do with the Jewish person, but I could be wrong. That would be
I've never had a negative reaction speaking to Lutherans, Baptists in Minnesota. Never had a negative reaction when I tell them that we're the chosen people, we stood at Mount Sinai, we are the light to the nations. Never. On the contrary, they say,
what do they say when you say that?
Say, I never knew that. They want to know the truth. Deep down inside, they already know the truth.
And the Christians, the Haitians who are super religious, I have friends that are just like, well, they're not, they think, they love the Jews and they're super supportive, but Jesus is going to say this all.
Yeah. The truth will always blow. And easily, in the face of truth, everything else just fades away. I was introduced to a minister in Minnesota, and his first words were, "So do you believe in the Savior?" I said, "I'm not really looking for God to save me. I'm looking for a God that I can serve." The man started to cry. He said, "Why didn't I think of that? But God exists to serve me?" And in a second, his whole belief, everything just changed. So we have nothing to be even hesitant about. But unfortunately, there's a habit, an ingrained habit of blaming ourselves, of thinking that we're failures, that we sin too much, that everything that happens is a punishment because we're not serving God properly. That is so untrue. It's the furthest thing from the truth. As a generation, Jews today deserve nothing but reward from God because we are incredibly devoted to Him. We don't keep all the mitzvah. Oh, give us a break. Let us settle down for a couple of years consistently, and we'll see how great we can become. So there's no question that God takes some of the blame, I need to look what I put you through. And you're this loyal? No question. When it comes Yom Kippur, you go to synagogue, you fast, and you expect to have a blessed year because we deserve only blessings. Can't be any other way. It can't be that for 3,000 years we are pretty much homeless, 2,000 years of nothing but misery, and then God is angry because we forgot to make a bracha?
But who says that that's what we consider misery is?
Oh, we know misery. We wrote the book on it. And yet, we're as Jewish as ever. That's awesome.
So I think we're going to invite, up here.
You can complete the circle of our conversation.
Do you want me to stay up here or do you want me to switch seats with you?
Is it?
Rabbi, can I get a little closer to you?
Oh.
Where's she, Ray?
Oh, this one.
Just wanted to join the conversation and give her side of the story.
Her? Which story?
Here's other story that you're telling.
I'm in the other side. I was on the other side.
What does that mean? You're on that.
I grew up in a Christian family. And then I always thought I was Jew because I learned everything from the Torah since I was little. And I never thought anything else than I was until I found, my son found. And we went to Israel and Yerushalayim, and then he said, Mom, here's the truth. Here's our roots. And then we went find our roots, and we are here today because we went after the truth. Our whole time is trying to find why we are not the chosen one. I know people don't understand and they think we shouldn't exist, but I think if God made us, is a purpose for something. And we found that you guys is the only one that has the truth. And we only can learn the truth with you. That's why the Christian follow JC, because he was a rabbi and he taught the truth. And the truth, if the base is the truth, always will survive. All the Christians are Christian think they know the truth because we don't have enough Jew telling us that we are wrong. We were wrong. I'm not there anymore. And we are missing. They are missing the truth.
Where are you from originally?
Brazil.
Your accent. Oh, okay.
Brazil. Yeah. We have a lot of Jew in Brazil.
You converted or you?
I am Bob Noah. My son converted, and we live with Jew and Jew community. We do everything like Jew try to do. And I didn't convert because my whole family is Christian.
Huh.
And if I convert like my son, it would be so much easier. He changed community, he changed family, and he's a Jew. And he's living the Jew life. And how about us? How about my family? How about my daughter? How about my mom? How about my sister? And then I keep asking the rabbi, but how can I help? Teach me? I want to learn how to teach who is not Jew, because I don't want them to be Jew. I don't think they have everybody has to be a Jew. I studied for 2 years how to convert, how to be a Jew. And at the end, he converted, and I decided I didn't convert because if I convert, I'm a Jew. Then how can I reach them? They will say, you're a Jew. I said, no, I was Christian. I am but Noah. And I want to teach you that God is the only God, is our God. And everybody can have God. We just cannot go in different ways. Find ways to go to God. It's only one. And then I keep the 7 laws of Noah. Yeah.
Beautiful. How does your family feel the Christian family feel that what you've taken on?
In the beginning, it was hard because they always thought we go to hell because we don't have a JC that they think is their God.
Right.
But I don't know what happened with me. Since I learned when I was little, the 10 Commandments, it's so clear. It's only one God. Then they call me the black sheep in the family. Saying, why? They say, why? If it's only one God. It's only one God, it's just one God. Then they put me in the 7-day Adventist school.
Wow.
To learn about what I believe. But we didn't know anything about Jew.
Yeah.
My dad born in a Jewish community in Brazil. My mom born in a Jewish community. But nobody never said anything about it. I never, nobody. Then when we discovered everything, I went to find my roots. And then my mom came from a Jewish community from Portugal in a Jewish town.
Wow.
And that's why I think I have in my blood, and I believe I was there one day. And I think in myself that is Jew because I love Jew more than Jew. Yeah. Yeah. I feel sad when I see a Jew that is not proud to be a Jew. Because when you were talking, I was crying. I want to be a Jew. I am. I think I am. I believe I am. Because if I wasn't, why are we trying to help everybody to find out there's one God?
So have you considered converting
I am.
and actually going through the?
I did everything. I went through everything I read.
Oh,
I just didn't decide to convert because I don't know what a God wants me yet.
figure it out, Lee.
Yeah, I'm here to help. To help with anything, and it's you, real one with the love in their heart, like you, like him. Changed me because they have love, and they don't judge me.
Oh, yeah, we do.
No,
We judge you very carefully and we think you're great. It's not a lack of judgment.
good judgment. When I was Christian, we had one problem. I think we judged. We had that thing like, oh, we were better or better. Nobody's better than nobody. But you are special. They are for me better. But I cannot say no better. But I found my family is where I want to be. Is where around them I want to live. Is where I found the truth.
Well, you have a classroom, you have students, and you have a teacher. Who's special? The teacher or the students?
The student. Because they have to learn and practice. I have my rabbi that I study with, and they accept to be my rabbi. And I learned so many things in one Brazil. And he lived in Jerusalem for 12 years, had the kids there. And he gives so many classes on YouTube. And I learned so many things with him, like for 5 years, study with him. Then we met. He said, Adrian, the difference about you than me, I teach a lot of things, but a lot of things I don't practice. And I see for so many years, everything I teach, you were teaching me back because you were practicing. Then you say, Rabbi, it's like this. This is the why you thought. He said, nobody learn and come back. And you always want more, you want more. And for you, I would teach more. I would teach you about so many other things. And we invited him to come here for Israel to Chabad in Boca. And then he came and taught a lot, invited a lot of Brazilian because it is Brazilian. His mom born in Israel. I mean, he's Jewish, but He's born in Brazil. And then the difference, I think, about everything that we are talking here is not just to listen, is to learn and practice. And if we practice everything you said today, we change the whole world. Just this lesson, just today. For me, you said everything. I want to send to everybody. I want to send to my family. Change everything. Just practice and be different and show love. Because we cannot have and learn the truth without you. We can't. Even Christian cannot.
Yeah.
Christian need a Jew.
Well, students can't be without a teacher. No. And a teacher can't be without students. So we can debate forever which one is more important.
Yeah, I am a student.
But a student, yeah. A student should be a good student, and the teacher should be a good teacher, and you have a perfect classroom.
And that I bring that for family, like for us, that we are mom. This is what we have to be to our kids. Not just a mom, but they a teacher. But not just teach. Because when we teach, we tell them, they listen, like we are telling them we know everything. We can show them. We practice what we teach, and they only will believe if they see the example. People say, my kids don't listen to me. I use example because they see everything. Everything. I have a granddaughter now, and she sees everything. She knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
And she learns with any detail. Then it's important what we do, what we say, everything make a difference. That we can change the world. I think even me not being Jew, I think I can help. Just saying that I'm trying to be a better mom, better daughter. Just learning with the Torah, with the truth.
Yeah, so what are we hesitating for?
Yeah, because seeing the other side, we need you guys have more courage to teach like you. It's not everybody that has that courage to teach. Because everybody say, why do I teach? Somebody that God didn't chose them to be the chosen one. God didn't chose us to be the chosen one, but He chose you to teach us to live with Him, to be learning with the chosen one. Because not everybody is a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We are students, and the Jews are the teachers. We cannot learn without you. And then if you leave us behind, then we see how He can come. Because you didn't spread the real. And I understand why. Because in the beginning I was, why they didn't tell us the truth from the beginning? Why my mom, they came from the Jew family. My dad is Jew. Why they didn't tell me? Why? Because what will happen? They have to run from Spain. They have to go to Portugal. They go to Portugal, run to Brazil. From Brazil, they came to the islands in the Caribbean. Then they went to New York. They are running because they are trying to survive. They are trying to save them. And I understand that. But now, maybe it's now the time. Because now we have even the president that is a little crazy sometimes. But he's in the other side. Then we have, let's say, almost 4 years because he's there already. Let's do now. No, wait for 5 years for the next president. Now, if we say anything in the TV and the news, we don't go to jail and nobody will kill us. We hope God willing. But if it is everything with God's permission, and let's do it now. And the rabbi that I follow, that I learn everything with him and his wife, say, Adrian, let's do the Benino thing. Because if it's there and the Bible was there, but nobody said that. When they teach things in church, they don't say, nobody say about the 7 laws. They only say that we are not Jew. You're not Jew. Oh, we love a Jew. That is the JC. They love a Jew. They learn with a Jew. They want to follow. They want to do what the Jew does, but they don't know how to get there. We don't know how to get there. Only if you learn with a Jew. And we only learned when my son, after 40 countries visited, 40 countries, worked for the biggest missionary in the world, Billy Graham. He filmed and traveled everywhere. And then when he arrived in Israel with a pastor, his pastor was a Jew. They went to North Carolina, Boone, North Carolina. And he said, it's so hard to be a Jew. In North Carolina, is no Jew. I'll be turning a Messianic, like a Christian. And then he asked my son to go to Israel to film for 2 weeks. And because he wanted to make the story like with a new language and explain everything because he was a Jew. And then when my son went there, he said, why you're not Jew?
You know, I have to say, and Rabbi, I don't know how you feel about this, but she keeps saying she's a student, but listening to her talk, and it almost feels like she's a teacher. Just going back to what you were saying in so many ways of Jewish people becoming more teachers, you really are teaching so many people within the Christian community more about Judaism and who we really are as Jews and who you are. And so maybe you're more of a teacher than a student.
Thank you. But I'm trying to do what Hashem wants me to do. And I feel that is a need. Is a need to spread the truth. They only there because they don't know the truth. That's as soon they, and if you start a little bit, like I try to, how I started to learn everything, the truth. My son he started study to prove his best friend and his partner for 9 years that he was wrong. That is the best thing. That was the best thing he did. Trying to prove he was wrong, he discovered the truth in the Torah. And then when he told me the truth about Israel, he invited us. We went there for 2 weeks and went everywhere. If we had this experience, everybody had a different experience, but we all had an experience in Yeshua. In that wall, we had our own experience. After that, I said, we belong here, and let's do it. Let's do it. It's hard, but it's what we need. Practice.
Can I invite one more guest to the table? Yeah, because it's getting late. I want to introduce you. Hey, sure. 5 minutes. Yours three.
I can get out.
No. Please.
Sorry. You were. Model. You sit on this side if you want.
Sure. Okay, you want me on that side?
Yeah.
Nope. We're on the can. We're righty. Hey, Susie, can I just give you a hug? Oh, sorry, me so much. So much. Yeah. You do a hug. The rabbi won't, but we'll. Yeah. Alrighty. I don't really know how to start here, but I guess I'm here to share. So I am a convert. I just had my birthday. It's a week before Lag Omer every single year, my birthday, my dip day. And I'm 22 now. So it's been 22 years. I'm not usually very open about this because I'm usually the only convert in the room. And as my sorority sisters would say, I bleep on the Judar, the Jewish radar. So it started because I joined a Jewish sorority in college. And then I met Chabad Rabbi. And it just grew from there. I went to New York. I wanted to study. But before New York, I took a world tour by myself. And in every single country I went to, I would go visit Chabad and sit there and learn. And whatever language it was in, usually everybody speaks English, so it's fine. Your story really touched me. And I said, this is so beautiful to be able to sit here and experience this. Because this is not what I was expecting when I came here today. And this is more, so it's really, listen, everyone thinks I converted. They didn't. So I get me say,
But I think it's so beautiful that you guys chose this path and religion and yeah, it's beautiful.
It's really true that this is the truth. And I was raised Catholic, went to Catholic school for 12 years, the whole thing, studied. And what I found was it wasn't satisfying. It wasn't working at. So I said, okay, so let me figure this out. And what really led me to the truth was saying, okay, well, Jesus was a Jew, right? So let's go to the source material and see what happens from there. And the way I ended up here was because my kid put Instagram on my phone, and all of a sudden I'm watching Rabbi. And I said, this is amazing. And so a good friend of mine said, well, he's going to be here. And I said, I have to go.
Yeah.
And so here we are. So it's a very nice birthday present.
You're touching so many Jewish lives and non-Jewish lives and people who have converted.
But you converted 22 years ago?
Yes.
My also was 20.
It's just fascinating to me that no matter what Hashem sends me, the people that I need at the time at which that I need it. Everybody who comes into my life, Jewish, not Jewish, Rabbi, whoever, I always can learn something from them. And so it's just really amazing. I take that knowledge. I have 4 children, thank God. And I take that and I sort of disseminate it within our family and whoever I can spread it to. So today I've learned a lot. I've never actually met a Noahide before. So that was very cool. And, I'll tell this story to my kids and to who anyone will listen. So it's really, really just an interesting journey. I do feel like I'm still 22 because I'm learning so much. I was like a baby Jew before.
How does that idea sit with you that God needs us? Because, can we actually think God can't be lacking anything?
That's an interesting concept that God needs us. I want to think that he needs us, but I really think that he's giving us an opportunity to improve our neshamas and to be worthy of being in his presence. So I don't know that he necessarily has a need. I think that he's providing the opportunities.
And does that benefit him? That's sort of what we're discussing. And this is just a segue because at 2:30, we're going to have 2 rabbis who are very visible on YouTube, Rabbi Friedman, Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg at Boca Raton Synagogue, to discuss this from different angles, different sources in Judaism. So everyone's invited. The main sanctuary, be there, be square, 2:30.